Arne Slot's Liverpool are spiraling, his future hanging by a thread after a string of shocking defeats. Atlético Madrid, ever the opportunists, are plotting to snatch Robert Lewandowski from Barcelona. Over in France, Marseille are preparing a bold move for Real Madrid's frustrated wonderkid Endrick, while PSG are once again flexing their financial muscle, targeting Newcastle's midfield magician Sandro Tonali. And if that wasn't enough, Manchester United's Casemiro faces a career-defining decision that could send shockwaves across Europe. Let's start with the Polish superstar whose name refuses to leave the rumor mill. Robert Lewandowski's time at Barcelona seems to be reaching its quiet end. Despite his determination to stay, to fight, and even accept a reduced role and smaller paycheck, the writing appears to be on the wall. Hansi Flick has been subtly phasing him out of the lineup, giving Ferran Torres more minutes and shaping a younger, more dynamic attack. For a player of Lewandowski's stature, this is a painful decline, one that mirrors the endgame of many legends before him. Sources close to Barcelona say the club has no intention of renewing his contract when it expires next summer. The injuries, the age, the finances, it all adds up. But this isn't a farewell just yet. Atlético Madrid have emerged as a surprise suitor, and the move makes eerie sense. Simeone loves experienced forwards who bring leadership and grit, and with a vacancy potentially opening up in attack, Lewandowski could be the perfect fit. AC Milan are also in the frame, offering nostalgia and prestige, but insiders suggest Atletico are leading the race. It's the kind of story football loves, a rival of Barcelona rescuing one of their stars, turning rejection into revival. And for Lewandowski, still burning with the desire to compete in Europe, Madrid might just be the next chapter he didn't know he needed. Meanwhile, the storm clouds are gathering over Anfield. Liverpool's faithful, used to glory and fight under Klopp, are watching in disbelief as their team crumbles under Arne Slot. The 2-1 defeat to Manchester United wasn't just another bad night, it was an omen. Their first home loss to United in 9 years, and their fourth straight defeat overall, marking their worst run in more than a decade. The statistics are brutal, but what's worse is the feeling that something fundamental is breaking down. Slot, defiant but visibly strained, insists that the performances aren't as bad as the results suggest. "We're creating enough chances," he said. "We shouldn't have lost those games." Yet, fans know better. The team that once roared with confidence and cohesion now looks unbalanced, tentative, and painfully blunt in attack. Alexander Isak's arrival was supposed to inject new firepower into Liverpool's front line, but the 125 million man from Newcastle has yet to score a single Premier League goal. His confidence is fading, his body language betrays frustration, and the mental scars from the turbulent exit at Newcastle seem to linger. Slot's tactics, designed around fluid attacking play, are creating openings but not goals, and patience is running thin. Losing 4 games in a row isn't something Liverpool tolerate lightly, especially at Anfield, where the walls themselves demand dominance. For all his optimism, Arne Slot knows that football is ruthless. You can talk about process, about progress, but results are everything. And if they don't come soon, Liverpool's board will have no choice but to ask whether he's the right man to lead them out of this slump. But while chaos brews in England, Paris is quietly plotting another power move. PSG have set their sights on Newcastle's Sandro Tonali, a player whose control, vision, and technical mastery have made him indispensable at St. James's Park. According to reports, the French giants are preparing a $60 million offer to lure him to Ligue 1. It's a move that could redefine PSG's midfield. Tonali isn't just a passer or a tackler. He's a conductor, a player who dictates rhythm, breaks lines, and carries the game on his shoulders. For Newcastle, losing him would be catastrophic. He's central to Eddie Howe's project, the foundation of their European ambitions. The club doesn't need the money. They're among the richest in the world. But if Tonali decides he wants the glamour of Paris and the promise of trophies, even Newcastle's wealth might not be enough to hold him. PSG's pursuit is real, and for the French champions, it's about more than adding depth. It's about bringing in someone who can finally bring structure and control to their midfield, the kind of player who turns star power into silverware. And then there's Casemiro. Once the heartbeat of Real Madrid's dynasty, and now a cornerstone at Manchester United, the Brazilian finds himself at a crossroads that could define the twilight of his career. The club wants him to stay, but at a reduced wage. United's management sees this as a pragmatic move, a way to balance their books while keeping an experienced leader in the dressing room. But Casemiro knows his value. He's aware that Saudi Arabia is still knocking, waving an offer that could secure him generational wealth, with Al Nassr leading the charge. At 33, this might be his last major contract, and the temptation is immense. Yet the story isn't so simple. There's also talk of a romantic return to Brazil, where he could end his career surrounded by love, legacy, and the adoration of fans who still see him as a national hero. 3 paths lie before him: stay and fight in Europe, cash in and dominate the Saudi League, or return home and write his final chapter in familiar colors. Whatever he chooses, one thing is certain: Casemiro's next move will mark the beginning of the end of an era. And just when you think the transfer window couldn't get any crazier, here comes Endrick, the boy once hailed as the future of Brazilian football, now facing a career crisis before his story has even begun. His move from Palmeiras to Real Madrid was supposed to be a fairy tale, a coronation. But the dream has soured. Under both Ancelotti and now Xabi Alonso, he's been left out of the squad, invisible, unused. The minutes he was promised have never come. His frustration has reached boiling point, and reports from France suggest Marseille are preparing a renewed bid. Roberto De Zerbi wants him badly, seeing in him a raw talent capable of transforming their attack. A move to France could finally give him the stage he deserves, a chance to prove himself, to rediscover the joy of playing football without the crushing weight of expectation. Juventus are also keeping tabs, as are PSG, while West Ham have even asked about a January loan. But the decision ultimately lies with Real Madrid. Do they keep a player they won't play or let him go to grow? For Endrick, this might be his make-or-break moment. Stay in Madrid and risk stagnation, or take a leap and rebuild his confidence somewhere new. Each of these stories paints a different side of modern football: the ambition, the pressure, the heartbreak, and the constant movement that defines this sport. Lewandowski's quiet exit, Slot's unraveling project, Tonali's tug-of-war between loyalty and ambition, Casemiro's twilight dilemma, Endrick's lost promise. It's all part of the same endless, unpredictable theater that keeps us hooked year after year, and now it's over to you. Should Lewandowski trade Barcelona for Atletico and chase one last shot at glory? Can Arne Slot turn things around before Liverpool's patience runs out? Will PSG's pursuit of Tonali reshape their midfield dominance? And what should Endrick do? Stay and fight or move on for the sake of his future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.